Hi guys, let's read the Constitution, Polity and Governance section of 12th series of ALS Current Affairs 2019-2020. So in this section, the first topic would be Pradhanmantri Matsiya Sampada Yojana. So why was this in the news? Recently, the Union Cabinet, chaired by Prime Minister, approved the implementation of Pradhanmantri Matsya Sampada Yojana (PMMSY). It is a scheme to bring about blue revolution through sustainable and responsible development of fisheries sector in India. It will be implemented during a period of 5 years from financial year 2020-21 to financial year 2024-25. It will be implemented as an umbrella scheme with two separate components, namely the first one is the Central Sector Scheme CS, and B it is Centrally Sponsored Scheme CSS at a total estimated investment of rupees 20,050 crore, comprising of A central share of rupees 9,407 crore, B state share of rupees 4,880 crore, and C beneficiary share of rupees 5,763 crore. So it will be implemented as an umbrella scheme with two separate components. The first component would be central sector scheme, and the second component would be centrally sponsored scheme, as a total estimated investment of rupees 20,050 crore, comprising of central share of rupees 9,407 crore, state share of rupees 4,880 crore, and beneficiaries share of rupees 5,763 crore. The centrally sponsored scheme component is further segregated into non-beneficiary oriented and beneficiary oriented sub-components or activities under the following three broad heads. The first one would be enhancement of production and productivity. Number B would be infrastructure and post harvest management, and C would be fisheries management and regulatory framework. The possible benefits of the scheme are as follows. So what are the benefits? The first one is address the critical gap in the fishery sector and realize its potential. The second benefit would be augmenting fish production and productivity at a sustained average annual growth rate of about 9% to achieve a target of 22 million metric tons by 2024-25 through sustainable and responsible fishing practices. Number 3, improving availability of certified quality fish seed and feed. Traceability in fish and including effective aquatic health management. Number fourth, the fourth benefit would be creation of critical infrastructure, including modernization and strengthening of value chain. The fifth would be creation of direct gainful employment opportunities to about 15 lakh fishers, fish farmers, fish workers, fish vendors, and other rural or urban populations in fishing and allied activities, and about thrice this number as indirect employment opportunities, including enhancement of their incomes. The sixth point would be boost to investments in fisheries sector and increase of competitiveness of fish and fisheries products. Seventh point is doubling of fish farmers and fish workers' incomes by 2024. The eighth benefit would be social, physical, and economic security for fishers and fish workers. Now let's come to the next topic, that is scheme for formalization of micro food processing enterprises. So why was this in the news? Recently, the Union Cabinet approved the scheme for formalization of micro food processing enterprises (FME). About this micro food processing enterprises. It is a centrally sponsored scheme. So it is a centrally sponsored scheme for the unorganized sector on all India basis with an outlay of rupees 10,000 crore. The expenditure of the scheme will be shared by the Government of India and the states in ratio of 60:40. The objectives of the scheme are, so what are the objectives of the scheme? The first objective is increase in access to finance by micro food processing units. The second objective would be increase in revenues of target enterprises. The third point is enhanced compliance with food quality and safety standards. The fourth point is strengthening capacities of support systems. The fifth point is transition from the unorganized sector to the formal sector. The sixth point is special focus on women entrepreneurs and aspirational districts. The seventh point is encourage waste to wealth activities. The eighth point is focus on minor forest produce in tribal districts. The salient features of the scheme are, so what are the features of this scheme? The first feature would be 200,000 micro enterprises are to be assisted with credit linked subsidy. So it's going to be linked with credit linked subsidy. Micro enterprises will be assisted with credit linked subsidy. Now let's come to the second feature. So the second feature is the scheme will be implemented over a 5-year period from 2020-21 to 2024-25. The focus area of the scheme are cluster approach, focus on perishables. Micro enterprises will get credit linked subsidy at a rate 35% of the eligible project cost with ceiling of rupees 10 lakh. Beneficiary contribution will be minimum 10% and balance from loan. On-site skill training and hand-holding for DPR and technical upgradation, seed capital to self-help groups for loan to members for working capital and small tools. Grant for backward or forward linkages, common infrastructure, packaging, marketing, and branding. Skill training and hand-holding support and credit-linked capital subsidy. The fourth feature would be the skill will be rolled out on all India basis. Fifth point is seed capital will be given to self-help groups rupees 4 lakh per SHG for loan to members for working capital and small tools. Sixth point, grant will be provided to FPOs for backward or forward linkages, common infrastructure, packaging, marketing, and branding. Number 7, the skill will be monitored at center by an inter-ministerial empowered committee. So it will be monitored at the center by an inter-ministerial empowered committee. IMEC under the chairmanship of Minister FPI. Number 8. A state or union territory level committee (SLC) chaired by the Chief Secretary will monitor and sanction or recommend proposals for expansion of micro units and setting up of new units by the SHGs or FPOs or cooperatives. Number 9. The states or union territories will prepare annual action plans covering various activities for implementation of the scheme, which will be approved by the Government of India. Number 10. A third party evaluation and midterm review mechanism would be built in the program. Number 11. The state or union territory government will notify a nodal department. So they will notify a nodal department and agency for implementation of the scheme. Number 12. State or union territory nodal agency SNA would be responsible for implementation of the scheme at the state or union territory level, including preparation and validation of state or union territory level upgradation plan, cluster development plan, engaging and monitoring the work of resource groups at district or regional level, providing support to units and groups, etc. Number 13. A national level portal would be set up wherein the applicants or individual enterprise could apply to participate in the scheme. Number 14. All the scheme activities would be undertaken on the national portal. Number 15. The scheme would attempt to fill in the gaps where support is not available from other sources, especially for capital investment, hand-holding support, training, and common infrastructure. The impact or significance of the scheme are as follows. So, we are going to now learn about the impact or the significance of the scheme. Number 1. Nearly 8 lakh micro enterprises will benefit through access to information, better exposure, and formalization. Number 2. Credit-linked subsidy support and handholding will be expected to 2 lakh micro enterprises for expansion and upgradation. Number 3. It will enable them to formalize, grow, and become competitive. Number 4. The project is likely to generate 9 lakh skilled and semi-skilled jobs. Number 5. The scheme envisages increased access to credit by existing micro food processing entrepreneurs, women entrepreneurs, and entrepreneurs in the aspirational districts. Number 6. There will be better integration with organized markets. Number 7. There is a possibility of increased access to common services like sorting, grading, processing, packaging, storage, etc. Now let's come to the next topic, that is star rating of garbage-free cities. So why was this in the news? The Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs (MOHUA) has released the star rating of garbage-free cities for the assessment year 2019-2020. The star rating protocol was launched by the MOHUA, that is Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs, in January 2018 to institutionalize a mechanism for cities to achieve garbage-free status and to motivate cities to achieve higher degrees of cleanliness. The protocol has been devised in a holistic manner, including components such as the cleanliness of drains and water bodies, plastic waste managing construction and demolition waste, etc. While the key thrust of this protocol is on solid waste management (SWM), it also takes care of ensuring certain minimum standards of sanitation through a set of prerequisites defined in the framework. The new protocol considers ward-wise geo-mapping monitoring of SWM value chain through ICT interventions like Swachh Nagar app and zone-wise rating in cities and a population above 50 lakh. So they are going to be rated in cities with a population above 50 lakh. Performance of cities. As per the 2020 survey, 6 cities have been graded 5 stars, 65 cities rated 3 star, and 70 cities rated 1 star. As per the 2020 survey, 6 cities have been graded 5 stars, then 65 states rated 6 star and 70 cities rated 1 star. 5-star cities. ULB name, state, final rating. Ambikapur, Chhattisgarh 5 star. Rajkot, Gujarat 5 star. Surat, Gujarat 5 star. Mysore, Karnataka 5 star. Indore, MP 5 star. Navi Mumbai, Maharashtra 5 star. Assessment under the protocol. To ensure that the protocol has a smart framework, the MOHUA has developed a 3-stage assessment process. In the first stage, ULBs populate their progress data on the portal along with supporting documents within a particular time frame. The second stage involves a desktop assessment by a third-party agency selected and appointed by the MOHUA. Claims of cities that clear the desktop assessment are then verified through independent field-level observations in the third stage. Swachh Bharat Mission (SBM). The SBM is a nationwide campaign in India for the period 2014 to 2019 that aims to clean up the streets, roads and infrastructure of India's cities, towns, urban and rural areas. The objectives of the Swachh Bharat include eliminating open defecation through the construction of household-owned and community-owned toilets and establishing an accountable mechanism of monitoring toilet use. Run by the Government of India, the mission aims to achieve an open defecation-free ODF India by 2nd of October 2019, the 150th anniversary of the birth of Mahatma Gandhi, by constructing 90 million toilets in rural India. The mission will also contribute to India reaching Sustainable Development Goal 6 (SDG 6) established by the UN in 2015. It is India's largest cleanliness drive to date, with 3 million government employees and students from all parts of India participating in 4,043 cities, towns and rural areas. The mission has two thrusts: Swachh Bharat Abhiyan Gramin or Rural, which operates under the Ministry of Drinking Water and Sanitation, and Swachh Bharat Abhiyan Urban, which operates under the Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs. So the mission has two thrusts. The first one is Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, Gramin or rural, which operates under the Ministry of Drinking Water and Sanitation, and Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, urban, which operates under the Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs. Now let's come to the next topic, that is Pradhanmantri via Vandana Yojana. Why was this in the news? Recently, the Union Cabinet approved the extension of Pradhan Mantri via Vandana Yojana (PMVVY). The scheme has been extended for a period of 3 years, that is from 31st March 2020 to 31st March 2023. It will allow initially and a short rate of return of 7.40% per annum for the year 2020-21 per annum, and thereafter to be reset every year. The annual reset of assured rate of interest with effect from April 1st of financial year in line with revised rate of returns of Senior Citizens Savings Scheme SCSS up to a ceiling of 7.75% with fresh appraisal of the scheme on breach of this threshold at any point. The approval for expenditure to be incurred on account of the difference between the market rate of return generated by LIC net of expenses and the guaranteed rate of return under this scheme. The capping management expenses at 0.5% per annum of funds of the scheme for first year of scheme in respect of new policies issued, and thereafter 0.3% per annum for second year onwards for the next 9 years. The Finance Minister has been authorized to approve annual reset rate of return at the beginning of every financial year. Pradhan Mantri via Vandana Yojana (PMVVY). It is a pension scheme announced by the Government of India exclusively for the senior citizens aged 60 years and above. The pension is payable at the end of each period during the policy term of 10 years as per the frequency of monthly or quarterly or half-yearly or yearly as chosen by the pensioner at the time of purchase. The scheme is exempted from Goods and Services Tax (GST). The loan up to 75% of purchase price shall be allowed after 3 policy years to meet the liquidity needs. Loan interest shall be recovered from the pension installments and loan to be recovered from claim proceeds. The scheme also allows for premature exit for the treatment of any critical or terminal illness of self or spouse. On such premature exit, 98% of the purchase price shall be refunded. The scheme can be purchased offline as well as online through Life Insurance Corporation (LIC) of India, which has been given the sole privilege to operate this scheme. Now let's come to the next topic, that is Sahi, Lychee and Jardalu mango. So Shahi Lychee and Jardalu mango. So why was this in the news? Amid the coronavirus outbreak and subsequent lockdown in the country, the Department of Post, Government of India and Department of Horticulture, Government of Bihar have joined hands to supply Shahi Lychee and Jardalu mango to the people at doorstep. Bihar Postal Circle has made an agreement with Department of Horticulture, Government of Bihar for logistics of Shahi Litchi from Muzaffarpur and Jardalu mango from Bhagalpur and its delivery to the doorstep of the people. Sahi Litchi. It is mostly grown in Muzaffarpur and its neighboring districts of East Champaran, Vaishali, Samastipur, and Begusarai. It was accorded the geographical indication GI tag in 2018. The Lychee chinensis, is the sole member of the genus Lychee in the soapberry family, Sapindaceae. So it is the sole member of the genus Lychee in the soapberry family, Sapindaceae. It is a tropical and subtropical fruit tree native to southern China, Taiwan, Bangladesh, and Southeast Asia, and now cultivated in many parts of the world. Now let's come to Jardalu mango. It was accorded the geographical indication, that is the GI tag, in 2017. It is a unique product from Bhagalpur district of Bihar, and it is known for its light yellow skin and special aroma. It was first planted in Bhagalpur region by Maharaja Rahmat Ali Khan Bahadur of Kharagpur. Additional information. There are 4 products from Bihar which are accorded with geographical indication, that is the GI tag, such as Sahi Litchi, Jardalu mango, Katarani paddy, and Magahi pan, that is the betel leaf. So there are 4 products from Bihar which are accorded the GI tag. They are, the first one is Shahi Litchi, then Jardalu mango, then we have Katarani paddy, then we have Magahi pan, betel leaf. The application for Katarani paddy, long and thin in shape and distinctly aromatic, was moved by Katarani Dhan Utpadak Sangh. So it was moved by Katarani Dhan Utpadak Sangh, Jagdishpur village in Bhagalpur. Magahi Pan Utpadak Kalyan Samiti, Duri village, Nawada district, had moved the application for GI tag to the unique variety of betel leaf which is adored for its softness and taste. The betel leaf variety is also grown in adjoining districts of Gaya. Now let's come to the next topic, that is attracting and retaining youth in agriculture, ARYA. So why was this in the news? Amid the coronavirus outbreak and nationwide lockdown, a large chunk of workers who migrated to their native places and villages has put the centers attracting and retaining youth in agriculture ARYA scheme in the limelight. So ARYA, attracting and retaining youth in agriculture. In order to realize the importance of rural youth in agricultural development, the Indian Council of Agricultural Research ICAR has initiated a program on attracting and retaining of youth in agriculture ARYA. The objective of ARYA project are as follows. Number 1, to attract and empower the youth in rural areas to take up various agriculture, allied and service sector enterprises for sustainable income and gainful employment in selected districts. Number 2, to enable the farm youth to establish network groups, to take up resource and capital intensive activities like processing, value addition, and marketing. Number 3, to demonstrate functional linkage with different institutions and stakeholders for convergence of opportunities available under various schemes or programs for sustainable development of youth. It is planned to be implemented through Krishi Vigyan Kendras (KVK) farm science centers in 25 states. Each KVK, that is Krishi Vigyan Kendras, would train about 200 to 300 youth in taking up agriculture's allied and supplementary activities such as poultry farming, dairying, fisheries, goat rearing, mushroom production, and other similar activities which keep the rural youth attached to agriculture, either directly or indirectly. It is presently being carried out in 100 districts in the nation on an experimental foundation. Now let's come to the next topic, that is Umang App. UMANG app. So why was this in the news? To further enhance the initiatives of Digital India program, the India Meteorological Department (IMD) services have been brought. Okay, so IMD services have been brought on the Umang app. Umang App. The Umang is an acronym for Unified Mobile Application for New Age Governance. So Umang, it stands for Unified Mobile Application for New Age Governance. It is an all-in-one single unified secure, multi-channel, multi-platform, multilingual, multi-service mobile app powered by a robust back-end platform providing access to high-impact services of various organizations. It was launched in 2017 to bring major government services on a single mobile app with a larger goal to make the government accessible on the mobile phone of our citizens. About 660 services from 127 departments and 25 states and about 180 utility bill payment services are live and more are in pipeline. The Umang user base has crossed 2.1 crore, including Android, iOS, web, and KaiOS. Citizens can also access their DigiLocker from Umang and give their feedback after availing any service through Rapid Assessment System (RAS), which has been integrated with Umang. Key features. Number 1. Unified platform. It brings together all government departments and their services on a single platform to provide better and easier services for citizens. Number 2, mobile first strategy. It aligns all government services with the mobile first strategy to leverage mobile adoption trends. Number 3, integration with Digital India services. It provides seamless integration with other Digital India services like Aadhaar, DigiLocker, and PayGov. Any new such service will automatically be integrated with the platform. Number 4, uniform experience. It is designed to enable citizens to discover, download, access, and use all government services easily. Number 5, secure and scalable. It supports Aadhaar-based and other authentication mechanisms for service access. The sensitive profile data is saved in an encrypted format and no one can view this information. So, benefits for citizens: single point ubiquitous access. All government services are available for citizens on a unified platform for easy access through multiple online and offline channels: SMS, email, app, and web. More for less. Only a single mobile app needs to be installed instead of each app of each department. Convenience. Citizens do not even need to install or update the app again to avail government services if more services are added to the platform. Saving of time and money. Citizens can anytime and anywhere avail these services through their mobile phones, desktops, and laptops without any need for visiting the department office and standing in queues. Uniform service. All the government services, including payment based transactions, provide secure and uniform experience. Now let's come to the next topic, that is Arogya C2 app. So why was this in the news? Amid concerns over privacy of data being collected by its COVID-19 contact tracing app, the union government has open sourced the Arogya C2 app. The app enables people to access themselves the risk of their catching the coronavirus infection. It is designed to keep track of other Arogya C2 users that a person came in contact with and alert him or her if any of the contacts test positive for COVID-19. It achieves this using the phone's Bluetooth and GPS capabilities. Once installed in a smartphone through an easy and user-friendly process, the app detects other devices with Arogya Setu installed that come in the proximity of that phone. The app can then circulate the risk of infection based on sophisticated parameters if any of these contacts have tested positive. The personal data collected by the app is encrypted using state of the art technology and stays secure on the phone until it is needed for facilitating medical intervention. Issues with the app. The Arogya Setu app faces the same issue as any other contact tracing technology that has come up during the pandemic period. It is people dependent. It needs widespread usage and self-reporting to be effective. Given that any number of total users will be a subset of smartphone owners in India, and there are bound to be variations in the levels of self reporting, the efficacy is not bulletproof. The terms of use of the app also say as much: distancing the government from any failure on the part of the app incorrectly identifying COVID-19 patients. The terms of use of the app also say as much: distancing the government from any failure on the part of the app incorrectly identifying COVID-19 patients. Number one, privacy concerns. First of all, the app exists in the privacy law vacuum that is India. With no legislation that spells out in detail how the online privacy of Indians is to be protected, Arogya Setu users have little choice but to accept the privacy policy provided by the government. The policy goes into some detail on where and how long the data will be retained. but it leaves vague the language around who will have access to it. As per the policy, persons carrying out medical and administrative interventions necessary in relation to COVID-19 will have access to the data. This suggests interdepartmental exchange of people's personal information and is more accessible and is more excessive than countries like Singapore and even Israel. Technical issue. Beyond the legal loopholes, there are technical loopholes as well. The unique digital identity in Arogya C2 is a static number, which increases the probability of identity breaches. The abundance of data collected is also potentially problematic. Arogya C2 uses both Bluetooth as well as GPS reference points, which could be seen as overkill, whereas other apps such as Stress Together make do with Bluetooth. Other issues. Experts emphasize that automated contact tracing is not a panacea. They caution against and they caution against an over-reliance on technology where a competent human-in-the-loop system with sufficient capacity exists. What is open source? The term open source refers to something people can modify and share because its design is publicly accessible. The term originated in the context of software development to designate a specific approach to creating computer programs. So the term originated in the context of software development to designate a specific approach to creating computer programs. Today, however, open source designates a broader set of values, what we call the open source way. Open source projects, products, or initiatives embrace and celebrate principles of open exchange, collaborative participation, rapid prototyping, transparency, meritocracy, and community-oriented development. The source code. The source code is the part of the software that most computer users don't even see. It's the code computer programmers can manipulate to change how a piece of software, a program, or application works. Programmers who have access to a computer program's source code can improve that program by adding features to it or fixing parts that don't always work correctly. What is open source software? At the simplest level, open source programming is merely writing code that other people can freely use and modify. The open source is a term that originally referred to open source software, OSS. The OSS, that is open source software, is a code that is designed to be publicly accessible. Anyone can see, modify, and distribute the code as they see fit. An open source development model is a process used by an open source community project to develop open source software. The software is then released under an open source license so anyone can view or modify the source code. Now let's come to the next topic, that is Char Dham project. So why was this in the news? The Chamba Tunnel constructed by the Border Roads Organization (BRO) under Char Dham project inaugurated on May 25, 2020. The construction of the tunnel is a part of the Char Dham Pariyojana It is a program taken up by the Ministry of Road Transport and Highways for connectivity improvement for Char Dham, Kedarnath, Badrinath, Yamunotri, and Gangotri in Uttarakhand. So, it is a program taken up by the Ministry of Road Transport and Highways for connectivity improvement for Char Dham, that is Kedarnath, Badrinath, Yamunotri, and Gangotri in Uttarakhand. The cost of the project is around rupees 12,000 crore. It envisages improvements as well as development of 889-kilometer length of national highways. Implementing agencies: Uttarakhand State Public Works Department, PWD, BRO, and the National Highway and Infrastructure Development Corporation Limited, NHIDCL. Project mode: the work under the program is being implemented on engineering, procurement, and construction (EPC) mode. Under the EPC mode, the project cost is completely borne by the government. Proposed Char Dham Highway: Dham, Major Junction, DTE stopovers, Yamunotri. Then we have this Gangotri, Kedarnath, Badrinath, Pithoragarh. Okay. However, the contractor is directly responsible for ensuring quality of the work as well as rectification of defects and maintenance of the project stretch for a period of 4 years after completion of construction. Now let's come to Border Roads Organization. The BRO was conceived and raised in 1960 by Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru for coordinating the speedy development of a network of roads in the north and the northeastern border regions of the country. It works under the administrative control of the Ministry of Defense. It has diversified into a large spectrum of construction and development works comprising airfields, building projects, defense works, and tunneling, and has endeared itself to the people. Now let's come to the next topic, that is My Life, My Yoga video blogging contest. So why was this in the news? The Prime Minister of India on May 31, 2020 announced My Life, My Yoga, also called Jeevan Yoga blogging contest, a joint effort by the Ministry of Ayush and the Indian Council of Cultural Relations, ICCR. The contest focused on the transformative impact of yoga on the lives of individuals and as an activity related to the observation of the 6th International Day of Yoga, IDY, on 21st June 2020. This contest was open to all participants across the world, and to enter into the contest, the participants were required to upload a 3-minute duration video of 3 yogic practices: Kriya, Asana, Pranayama, Bandha, or Mudra, including a short video message or description on how the said yogic practices has influenced their life. The contest supported participation via the social media platforms of Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. So what are the objectives? Through the My Life, My Yoga video blogging competition, the Ministry of Ayush and ICCR seek to raise awareness about yoga and to inspire people to prepare for and become active participants in the observation of International Day of Yoga IDY 2020. This year, the ministry encouraged the people to practice yoga at their homes in order to avoid public gathering due to COVID-19 pandemic. So that's all guys. Bye.